Welcome friends, welcome once again in the Bajme Godda. Myself Mahmoud Faruqi, once again I am here with the biology classes. So today's topic is viruses. Starting from the acellularity, viruses are acellular organism. Yesterday we have talked about the 5 kingdom classification given by the 5 kingdom classification given by the R.H. Whittaker in 1969. They do not mention the acellular organism like viruses. Why? Because they are not truly living organisms. Why they are not truly living organisms? Because when the viruses are outside the cell, when they are outside of the cell, they are dead. They do not have any motility. They do not replicate. They do not cause any harm to the host. But when they enter through the cell, they took over whole the machinery. That is, in the cell there is nucleus. In the nucleus there is a DNA. So they took over whole the machinery of the host cell, and from that DNA they form their own mRNA, and from the mRNA they form their own proteins, and finally they kill the host cell and they themselves replicates. So there was a question to the scientist whether the viruses are living or the non-living thing. But the answer to this question is that when they are outside the host cell, they are dead, but when they enter the host cell, they are living. So viruses are acellular organisms. They are not mentioned in the 5 kingdom classification given by the R.H. Whittaker. Yesterday we have talked about the 5 kingdom classification. Third thing about viruses is that they are not truly living and they are inert crystalline structure. They are inert crystalline structure. Remember this point. This is very much important. They are inert. Second thing, crystalline structure. Later on, there was a scientist known as W.M. Stanley. In 1935, he told that viruses again could be crystalline from the infected cell. So it is very much important criteria for the virus that they are inert crystalline structure outside. Fourth thing is that antibiotics are ineffective against viruses. For example, when we have common cough and cold, many people take antibiotics, but antibiotics are ineffective against viruses. For example, common cold, this is done by rhinovirus. This means if you do not take medicine, then also after 7 days or 7 to 10 days, common cough and cold will end. This means antibiotic do not have any role in case of viruses. Fifth thing is that history of the viruses. Virus simply means virus fluid or venom. From starting in 1892, there was a scientist named D.J. Ivanovsky discovered the virus and he called it a venom or the poisonous fluid. And later on, he saw that there was a disease known as mosaic disease of the tobacco, means just like this is a tobacco leaf, there was some rolling of this leaf and that caused a damage to the tobacco leaf. So he saw that there was damaging to this leaf and this was the causative organism of the mosaic disease of the tobacco. So he called them the viruses. Another, after 6 years, 92 to 98, M.W. Beecher ने he extracted the infected plant. Means अगर किसी एक टोबैको वायरस में वायरस का टोबैको मोजाइक वायरस से किसी एक टोबैको प्लांट में इन्फेक्शन हो गया है तो उससे वायरस को निकाल करके एक हेल्दी प्लांट में डाल दिया इन्होंने. This is one tobacco plant and this is another tobacco plant. So this was the infected plant which was infected by virus, and this was healthy plant. So infectious content when moved from this infected plant to the healthy plant, this plant also get infected. So he gave a term Contagium vivum fluidum. Contagium vivum fluidum means infectious living fluid. This term is very much important because in boards and in NEET, Contagium vivum fluidum. Contagium, infectious, vivum, living, and fluidum means fluid. So this is contagium vivum fluidum. Remember this term? Then we will talk about the nucleic acid of the viruses. If we talk about plant viruses which infect the plant, they have only single-stranded RNA. The viruses which infect animals, if they have RNA, they may be single-stranded RNA or double-stranded RNA. If they are bacteria, means virus infecting bacteria, therefore they are called as bacteriophage viruses, means bacteria eating virus. So those viruses are always DS DNA, double stranded DNA. So once again we will see the virus infecting the plant have single stranded RNA. Virus infecting the animal, if they have RNA, that will be single stranded RNA or might be double stranded RNA. But if they have DNA in their content, that must be dsDNA, means double stranded DNA. But above all these, you must remember that virus either have RNA और DNA, दोनों एक साथ नहीं हो सकते हैं. The virus infecting animal, अगर वो RNA कंटेंटिंग वायरस है तो उसमें सिंगल स्ट्रैंड RNA भी हो सकता है और डबल स्ट्रैंड भी हो सकता है. लेकिन अगर DNA वाला वायरस है तो सिर्फ और सिर्फ डबल स्ट्रैंडेड DNA होगा उसमें. लेकिन अगर बैक्टीरिया को इन्फेक्ट करने वाला वायरस है तो सिर्फ और सिर्फ डबल स्ट्रैंडेड DNA होगा, ना तो सिंगल स्ट्रैंडेड RNA होगा ना तो डबल स्ट्रैंडेड RNA होगा. So we are here with the single stranded viruses. ये एग्जाम में सबसे ज्यादा पूछा जाने वाला सवाल है सेकेंड चैप्टर का, क्लास 11th बायोलॉजी. सिंगल स्ट्रैंडेड वायरसेस कौन कौन से हैं? फर्स्ट इज द पोलियो, एज वी ऑल नो, TMV, tobacco mosaic viruses, that we have talked about in the previous section. Mumps and influenza. Fourth is rhabdovirus, which causes rabies. Arbovirus, that is dengue virus, and HIV. So you must remember at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single-stranded viruses, RNA virus, single-stranded RNA viruses, and all these viruses are mentioned in NCERT in different chapters, in 11 and in 12. So एक चार्ट बना लीजिए और उसको यहीं पे याद कर लीजिए. पोलियो, TMV, मम्स एंड इन्फ्लुएंजा, rhabdovirus, arbovirus, HIV, these are single stranded RNA viruses. Now next come to the viroid. In the previous section we have talked about the viruses. Like viruses, viroids are also the acellular organisms which are not mentioned in the 5 kingdom classification given by the R.H. Whittaker in 1969. So it was discovered in 1971 by T.O. Diner. Remember the name of the scientist? It was T.O. Diner who discovered the viroid, and it was the causative organism of the potato spindle tuber disease. Next question, potato spindle tuber disease. First question, in 1971, Theo Danner. Second question, potato spindle tuber disease. It was the causative organism of the potato spindle tuber disease. Third thing, it has the free RNA. Why it has the free RNA? Because in the previous section, we have talked that viruses are made up of proteins. Viruses are made up of the proteins means अगर ये उसका न्यूक्लिक एसिड है तो इसके बाहर में that is outside is made up of proteins. This is the nucleic acid and all these are the proteins. और वायरस में that is called as capsids and single unit, that whole is called as capsid. The proteinous coat is called as capsid and one single unit is called as capsomere. But this protein coat is absent in the viroid. Only nucleic acid is present, therefore it is a free RNA. So third question is, it is a free RNA. In viroids, you must remember, it was discovered in 1971 by the Theo Danner. It caused potato spindle tuber disease. It is a free RNA. Fourth thing, it lacked the protein code, just I have talked about. And fifth thing, its RNA is low molecular weight. Pause. Now come to the lichens. We have talked about the virus, that the viruses, viroid. And now we come to the lichens. These both three, viruses, viroid and lichens, are acellular organisms. Acellular organisms. What is the mean by the acellularity is that yesterday we have talked about the cell to organ, organ to organ system, and then to an individual, and we have talked about the unicellular, multicellular, prokaryotic and eukaryotic, and means that they have cells, but you cannot differentiate the cells in these organisms, means they are acellular type. Single cell cannot be determined in these organisms, means viruses, viroid and lichens. Therefore, these organisms do not comes under the 5 kingdom classification. First, I have talked about the virus, do not come under 5 kingdom classification. Second, viroid, and third, now we are talking about the lichens, which also do not come in the 5 kingdom classification because the acellularity, and remember there the cellularity was the important basis of classification for the 5 kingdom classification. They are acellular, therefore they are not classified under 5 kingdom classification. So important point about lichens is that they have the symbiotic association. Symbiotic association. Normally in normal word, in our daily uses, we call the lichens as kaddi or somewhat like that, but it is very much important indicator of the pollution. They are mutual association and they have the mutual association of algae and fungi. So the algal part is called as the phycobiont and the fungal part is called as the mycobiont. Here is another question for you, that algal part is called as the phycobiont and fungal part is called as the mycobiont. So what do the algae do in the mutual association? Algae prepare the food. First thing, alga prepare the food because they are photosynthetic. Yesterday we have talked about that fungi do not prepare food. They are heterotrophic in their mode of nutrition. So they take the food from algae and they take the water from algae and mineral from algae, means food, water and minerals from algae, and they provide shelter for algae. Means fungi provide shelter to the algae and algae give food, water and minerals to the fungi. Therefore these are mutual relationship or mutual association, a symbiotic association. Third thing, lichen is a very good pollution indicator of sulfur dioxide. This is an important question which is not mentioned in the book. Book mentions that lichen are the important pollution indicator and they do not grow in the polluted area, like most important Delhi, top 4 in the world. So lichens do not generally grow in this highly polluted area and mainly to those areas which have the pollution of sulfur dioxide.